The unforgettable disappearance of Lauren McAllister, Bend, Oregon, 1998. On a cold autumn evening in October 1998, 22-year-old Lauren McAllister vanished from the outskirts of Bend, Oregon. Her car was abandoned on a narrow, winding forest road, headlights still on, but Lauren had disappeared. No sign of struggle, no witnesses, and no clues to unravel the mystery. Before we dive in, if you enjoy chilling true stories and unsettling mysteries, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new videos are available. Lauren was a young woman with quiet determination and a fiercely independent spirit. Raised in Bend, she had recently graduated from Oregon State University with a degree in environmental science. Known among friends as thoughtful and resourceful, Lauren spent her days hiking the Cascade foothills, working part-time at a local bookstore, and volunteering with conservation groups dedicated to protecting the nearby Deschutes National Forest. Those close to her noticed a subtle shift in the weeks before her disappearance. Lauren had grown more introspective, often lost in thought during their conversations. She confided to her sister, Emily, that she felt restless, like there was something she needed to understand, something tied to the forest she loved so much. The night she vanished, Lauren had told a friend she was planning a solo trip to scout an old logging trail deep in the forest, hoping to document rare plant species for a community project. She left her small apartment around 6:30 p.m., dressed in hiking boots and a dark green jacket, carrying only a small backpack and a handheld GPS device. This was not unusual for her. She often ventured out alone, trusting her familiarity with the land. The setting was serene but isolating. The logging trail was a rugged stretch of gravel winding through towering pines and ancient firs, where the distant hum of the nearby highway faded into silence. At dusk, the shadows deepened quickly, and the scent of pine resin mingled with damp earth. The forest was known to locals for its beauty and remoteness. Hours passed. When Lauren failed to return by midnight, Emily reported that she was missing. Early the next morning, a search party discovered Lauren's silver Subaru parked at the trailhead, its engine still warm and the keys left in the ignition. Her backpack was inside, untouched, but Lauren herself was nowhere to be found. The investigation began swiftly, but evidence was scarce. No footprints led away from a vehicle, and no signs of forced entry or a struggle were present. Her cell phone and GPS were missing, as if taken deliberately or lost under unexplained circumstances. The search extended for weeks, scouring the dense forest, the rocky riverbanks, and abandoned cabins. But the young woman who loved the wilderness had seemingly vanished. Friends and family grappled with an impossible question. What could have happened to Lauren McAllister on that crisp Oregon night? Theories abounded: accident, foul play, or a voluntary disappearance. But none fit the puzzling facts. The forest remained silent, guarding its secrets as the shadows lengthened. And somewhere within those endless trees, Lauren's story remained unfinished. October 14, 1998, began as an unremarkable Wednesday in Bend, Oregon, a small city nestled on the eastern edge of the Cascade Range, where the wilderness pressed close to residential neighborhoods. The day's fading light and cooling air would soon mark the last known moments of Lauren McAllister's life, as anyone would come to know it. A timeline of events. 7 a.m., Lauren left her apartment on Northeast Greenwood Avenue. According to her roommate, Melissa Harding, Lauren was quiet but purposeful that morning. She packed a small backpack with notebooks, a camera, and snacks. Melissa recalled Lauren mentioning her plan to scout a remote logging trail off Forest Road 27, explaining, "I want to get there before sunset to catch the golden light on the firs. It's for the conservation project." 8:30 a.m. Lauren was spotted by her co-worker at the Book Nook, the independent bookstore where she worked part-time. They shared a brief conversation. Lauren was calm and polite. She spoke about the changing leaves and hoped the trail would still have the rare purple lupin flowers she'd found there earlier in the season. This was the last confirmed sighting within the city limits. 12:15 p.m. Lauren made a brief phone call to her sister, Emily, lasting about 7 minutes. Emily later described the call as normal but with an undercurrent of distraction. Lauren mentioned being deep in the forest and said she'd call back once she returned. This call was made from a payphone near the trailhead parking lot. an area without reliable cell service. 1 p.m., a local hiker, Jim Hawkins, crossed paths with Lauren near a small clearing about 2 miles down the logging trail. Hawkins would later tell police that Lauren was examining plants and taking notes. She smiled politely when he greeted her, but declined to engage in extended conversation. He described her as dressed for a hike, but there was a nervous edge to her movements. 3:45 p.m., Lauren was observed by a passing couple on Forest Road 27, who saw her walking back towards the trailhead. She carried only a light pack and appeared to be heading out, but her pace was slow and unsteady, as if she were tired. The couple did not stop, but later described to the police. 4:30 p.m. According to traffic camera footage from a nearby intersection, Lauren's silver Subaru was seen parked at the trailhead. The car's headlights were off, and no sign of Lauren near the vehicle. 5:15 p.m. A passing motorist found Lauren's car, Mark Ellis, who was driving home from work. Ellis stopped, noting the car's engine was still running and the headlights on. The keys were in the ignition, but no sign of Lauren nearby. Concerned, Ellis called 911. The immediate response. Within 20 minutes of Mark Ellis's call, Bend Police Department officers arrived. Detective Laura Mitchell, assigned to the case, later described the initial investigation as challenging from the start. The vehicle was intact, with no signs of forced entry, struggle, or theft. The car was unlocked, and Lauren's backpack was untouched on the back seat. A sweep of the immediate area yielded no footprints or tire tracks other than Ellis's vehicle. The ground was soft from recent rain, yet no disturbance indicated someone had left the car. Police dogs were brought in but lost the scent about 50 yards from the trailhead, a perplexing dead end. The only unusual detail was Lauren's missing handheld. GPS investigators theorized that she either took it with her or that someone else took it. Interviews and witness statements. Detectives interviewed Lauren's roommate, Melissa Harding, who said Lauren had not seemed anxious or troubled in the days leading up to the disappearance. However, she confirmed Lauren had grown introspective, sometimes speaking vaguely about something out there that didn't feel right. Melissa expressed deep worry during the interview, saying Lauren was cautious by nature. She wouldn't wander off if she felt something was wrong. Jim Hawkins, a hiker, described Lauren's demeanor as different that afternoon, more distracted, almost as if she was being watched. This statement led police to explore the possibility of someone else being nearby, but no evidence emerged to support it. The passing couple who saw Lauren at 3:45 p.m. could not provide further details beyond her direction and appearance. Search and rescue efforts. Over the next 2 weeks, multiple agencies, including the Deschutes County Search and Rescue and volunteers from local hiking clubs, combed the dense forest around Forest Road 27. Search parties used drones and helicopters to skim the rugged terrain, focusing on steep ravines, creek beds, and abandoned logging cabins. Despite the extensive search, no trace of Lauren was found. No clothing, personal effects, or signs of injury or struggle. Her absence puzzled seasoned trackers, who noted the lack of footprints suggested she either left the area on foot with extreme caution or had been taken by vehicle or person. Media coverage and public reaction. News outlets in Bend and statewide urgently covered Lauren's disappearance. Local newspapers published photos and pleas for information. The story gained modest regional attention, but no substantial leads. The public response was a mix of sympathy and speculation. Many admired Lauren's commitment to environmental causes, and a group of community members organized candlelight vigils, hoping to keep the search alive. Theories and speculation. Police considered several theories: accidental injury or death. Lauren might have fallen into a ravine or been trapped in an isolated spot. Despite thorough searches, no evidence supported this. Voluntary disappearance. Some wonder if Lauren had staged her disappearance, driven by personal reasons. Family and friends rejected this, pointing to her strong bonds and plans. Foul play. The possibility of abduction was real, but difficult to prove without evidence. Red herrings and local rumors. Two notable red herrings complicated the investigation. A reported sighting of a suspicious man in a pickup truck near the trailhead a week before Lauren vanished. Several locals described an unfamiliar man asking questions about the area. Police traced the man, a transit with no prior record, who denied involvement and had no ties to Lauren. An anonymous tip received 2 days after Lauren's disappearance claimed she'd been seen hitchhiking on a highway 30 miles south of Bend. Investigators followed this lead but found no corroborating evidence, and the tip was later considered unreliable. Locally, rumors swirled about a shadow figure seen in the forest at night. Some believed the woods were haunted. Others speculated about illegal logging operations or drug-related activity. Police dismissed these as distractions but acknowledged they contributed to community anxiety. Family's response. Lauren's younger sister, Emily McAllister, became the family's emotional center. She spoke publicly about her sister with profound love and anguish. Lauren was bright, curious, and full of life. "We just want answers, where she is and that she's safe." The McAllister family hired private investigators and offered reward for information. They pushed authorities to keep the case active, fearing time would only deepen the mystery. Police perspective. Detective Lauren Mitchell summarized the case in her briefing months later. "This disappearance defies the usual patterns. There's no clear motive, no crime scene. We're working every angle, but the forest guards its secrets well. Despite persistent efforts, the investigation reached a frustrating plateau, the cliffhanger. As the weeks stretched into months, a critical development emerged. Something found by a volunteer searcher near a creek 5 miles from the trailhead. A single hiking boot, weathered but unmistakably Lauren's size. This discovery reignited hope and confusion. How had the boot ended up so far from where Lauren's car was found? Was it a clue or a cruel trick of nature? The answer remained elusive. The forest remained silent. Lauren McAllister's fate was still unknown. Lauren McAllister's disappearance in October 1998 remains one of the most baffling and haunting mysteries in the quiet mountain town of Bend, Oregon. Despite exhaustive searches, thorough investigations, and numerous witness interviews, the case offers no clear answers. Instead, it has become a puzzle of competing, plausible yet inconclusive theories. Examining what might have happened on that cold autumn day, we explore 3 prevailing possibilities: abduction, voluntary disappearance, and natural causes. Each theory sheds light on a different facet of this enigmatic case, but all lead to an unsettling ambiguity. Theory 1, abduction. The most immediate and feared explanation by both law enforcement and Lauren's family was that she was forcibly taken against her will. Although no signs of struggle were evident at the car, several circumstances indicate foul play. Lauren's GPS device was missing from the scene, suggesting she took it with her or someone else removed it. Police considered that a perpetrator might have used it to mislead searchers or cover their tracks. Witnesses recalled a man in an unfamiliar pickup truck asking questions near the trailhead days before Lauren disappeared. While police cleared this individual, a stranger close to a remote trail raised alarms about potential predatory behavior. Moreover, Lauren's slow pace when last seen could have indicated distress or hesitation, possibly because she sent someone nearby. If Lauren was abducted, the motives remain unclear. Was it opportunistic? Was there an element of premeditation? The dense forest provided many hiding places, and the remote location could have enabled a swift escape from the public eye. Law enforcement officers are trained to be cautious when handling cases of missing persons, particularly when evidence is scarce. Detective Lauren Mitchell commented, "Every minute counts. The lack of physical evidence doesn't mean a crime didn't occur. It often means the perpetrator was careful. Yet, no ransom demands, no credible sightings, and no physical evidence linked to an abductor ever surfaced. The theory, while plausible, remains unproven." Theory 2, voluntary disappearance. Another possibility is that Lauren chose to disappear intentionally. This theory challenges our understanding of her personality, but cannot be entirely dismissed. Friends and family described Lauren as responsible, close-knit, and deeply connected to her work and community. However, she expressed feelings of restlessness and unease in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. Mental health experts note that even the most grounded individuals can experience moments of crisis, which can lead to sudden decisions to escape their lives. Supporters of this theory speculate that Lauren might have wanted to break free from perceived pressures or personal struggles, seeking solitude in the wilderness or starting anew elsewhere. The fact that her car was found with the engine running and keys inside might be interpreted as a staged scene to mislead investigators. However, those who knew Lauren insisted she had no reason to vanish and left behind strong ties, family, friends, and plans for the future. The lack of communication after her disappearance and the absence of financial activity or use of personal documents weakened this theory. No confirmed sightings or contacts have ever been reported. Still, the forest's remoteness could have allowed her to survive or meet with others who might have helped her disappear. Theory 3. Natural causes and accident. Given Lauren's affinity for hiking and wilderness exploration, one cannot overlook the possibility of an accidental death. The rugged terrain of the Cascade foothills is known for hidden dangers, such as cliffs, unstable rocks, sudden weather changes, and wildlife encounters. The discovery of a single hiking boot far from the trailhead remains a haunting clue. Could Lauren have slipped and fallen into a ravine, or been trapped in a secluded area and unable to call for help? In this scenario, the lack of footprints near the car could be explained by the possibility that she was carried or moved by natural forces, water currents, animal activity, or shifting debris. Searchers noted the difficulty of the terrain and the possibility that a body might have been concealed or obscured by thick underbrush. This theory suggests a tragic accident rather than malevolent intent, a heartbreaking end for a young woman who loved the forest. The shadow of the unknown. Beyond these three grounded theories, some locals whispered of darker possibilities. Supernatural explanations, secret occult activity, or covert logging operations. While these lack credible evidence, they highlight the tendency to seek meaning in the inexplicable. What remains clear is that Lauren McAllister disappeared without a trace, leaving a void filled with questions and sorrow. Her family, friends, and the Bend community continue to hope for answers, while the forest waits silently, keeping its secrets. Conclusion: an invitation to reflect. Lauren's story is emblematic of countless cases of missing persons where the line between fact and speculation blurs. Was she the victim of a calculated crime, a woman overwhelmed and seeking escape, or a casualty of the wilderness she so deeply loved? Or is there a truth that no one yet has uncovered? The unanswered questions linger like shadows among the pines. What do you think happened to Lauren McAllister? Was it a tragic accident or something far more sinister? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel for more content relating to horrors and missing cases.